Our children are the reflection of what we need to learn ourselves. That's a deep one. So when we talk about all these inner child pieces, this week we're going to be learning from those pieces, and we're also going to be modeling it for our kids. This week, I would love for you to think about mind-body connection, modeling that for our kids, talking to our kids about how it works and what it looks like for us. One thing that we can think about is when we're in a situation, we're noticing we're getting upset, modeling those pieces. Man, my monkey mind is really racing right now. I'm really upset because I just stepped in this giant puddle of ice water and I was wearing my short snow boots and my socks are soaking wet. So I'm really frustrated right now. I need to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Hi, Conscious Parents. It's Carrie here, and I am here with a little info about raising our mindful kids. I've got some tips and tricks about breaking free of the box and becoming who you are and teaching your kids how to do that along the way. Join us. Hi there, Conscious Parents. Before we start today's episode, it's Carrie here, and I wanted to reach out to ask you guys for a quick favor. As a follower of our show, we would love for you to give us a 5-star rating and leave us a review. It can be just a few words, that's it, and it really goes a long way with us, with the podcasting community on Apple or Spotify. So thanks so much for tuning in, and I'm so excited for you to hear today's message. Happy listening. Hi there and welcome back. It's Carrie, your friendly intuitive mama here, and I am excited to do another mini with you guys. So let's dive in. One thing we're going to think about this week is our children are the reflection of what we need to learn ourselves. That's a deep one. So when we talk about all these inner child pieces, this week we're going to be learning from those pieces, and we're also going to be modeling it for our kids. This week, I would love for you to think about mind-body connection, modeling that for our kids, talking to our kids about how it works and what it looks like for us. One thing that we can think about is when we're in a situation, we're noticing we're getting upset, modeling those pieces. Man, my monkey mind is really racing right now. I'm really upset because I just stepped in this giant puddle of ice water and I was wearing my short snow boots and my socks are soaking wet. So I'm really frustrated right now. I need to breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. Another example could be if you were trying to make a decision. I'm just going to throw out a really silly one because it's coming to me right now. But say you were at the ice cream shop and you were trying to choose what flavor of ice cream you are. So I have a hard time making decisions. So I would totally do this in an ice cream shop. But I could model for my kids, man, this is a tough choice. I'm going to feel it in my body. Do I feel drawn toward chocolate chip? Do I feel the energy in me drawn toward cookie dough? And I'm going to breathe for a second and see, what is my body drawn toward? If I start to lean toward chocolate chip, does it feel, it doesn't settle right. It feels sticky. I guess my body doesn't want that right now. I think, do I really want cookie dough? That settles. Oh, yep. That's what I want today. So teaching our kids that mind-body connection and feeling in our body how things are resonating. Sure, we're talking about ice cream. We're not talking about which college we want to apply to. We're not talking about which car or which house we're going to buy. We're talking about cookie dough versus chocolate chip, I think was the one I said. We're starting with little ones, right? Because it's okay to make mistakes right now with ice cream. We're learning how to make mistakes when we're young so we can make mistakes or avoid them when we're older. These are things that are super important to model for our kids. An activity I was thinking you guys could do this week is go outside, get some chalk, and when you ask your child to pick out a piece of chalk, ask them, what color are you drawn to? Oh, I see you're leaning toward green. Is there a feeling in your body that you feel when you notice that green? What do you feel like in your body? It makes me think of grass and how it would be really cold on my feet because it's fall right now, or spring is coming. So it would feel cold on my feet if I walk through it right now. So just helping them to think about the spiritual pieces of the color, helping them to think about the mind-body pieces of it. How are we feeling in that decision? One thing that you could also work on this week is thinking for yourself as a parent, what is it that my child is going through right now? Why is it that I may be frustrated that they got their sock all wet and they won't stop screaming about it? What is it that makes my skin tense? It makes me want to scream or yell, like, just deal with it. Your sock is wet. You'll be fine. What is it in my body that makes me feel like that? Is it that I want my kid to be more flexible? Is it that I remember that time when I maybe was sent to school and I didn't have the right proper footwear because we didn't have Gore-Tex in the 80s and 90s. What was it that is bringing this up in me that's making me feel so frustrated? So if you see these pieces, like maybe it's that we want our kid to be flexible. Okay, that's great. They are 6 and 9s for me. So maybe learning flexibility is still part of it for them and showing them mom can be flexible and maybe being a little bit late to flu shots. Mom can be flexible and being a little late to school because their shoes are wet and whatnot. Acting flexible yourself will teach them that and show them, I'm giving you some grace. Also, remember, what is it that you may not like in yourself that you're seeing reflected in your kid? Oh gosh, I'm so frustrated because we're always late because they can't get their shoes on. Oh, I just want to be on time. Why do you want to be on time? What's that control? What's that need? Was it because you were always late when you were a kid? Was it the opposite? You were always made to get out of the door and be 15 minutes early because being on time was being late. That was, I think, I don't remember if my parents said that, but we were always early as a kid. And I always had this need to be there, to be ready, secure, safe. That's how I felt as a kid. So now I definitely have those pieces. But for me, I'm thinking in my mind, I don't want to imprint this on my kid. I want to let them be themselves. I have one kiddo. I was pregnant, and when I was pregnant with my first kiddo, I remembered having dreams about him stopping to smell the flowers. And it was right on because he is definitely my smell the flowers kid. And there are pieces that frustrate me because I was taught you're there 15 minutes early and that's on time. But sometimes there are flowers. There are those little weeds that you blow and make a wish. There are things that happen in our lives, so we're not always on time. And it's healing these pieces of me, healing these inner child pieces of me, so that way I am not leaving that imprint on my kid of fear and control that I am putting on my child, but also following what their body needs as well. You can help them along the way, of course, right? There's these gentle connection ways of doing it. So going back to the chalk pieces, when we're outside and we're seeing the color of chalk, we can move it slowly into nature. What are we noticing? What are we feeling on our skin? Are we feeling that sun beating down on us? Are we feeling that breeze hitting our face, blowing our hair, talking about these sensory pieces that we're feeling in our day? And those are perfect ways to connect with our kid, help our kid connect in their mind-body connection, right? And also ground ourselves. Those are amazing, important pieces. This week, I would love for you to think about our kids are the reflection of what we need to learn ourselves. So you can choose to dive deeper with some of the inner child pieces, or you can keep it in a basic version when you're working with your kids. Those are pieces that you can connect with for yourself and pieces that you can connect with for your kid. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I hope it goes well. That's a wrap. Thanks so much for tuning in, Changemakers. This is Carrie, and if you haven't done a review for us, 5 stars and a little few words about what you've enjoyed in our podcast episodes, we would really appreciate it. If you guys would like to ever message me, I would love any questions you have or any feedback at info@hearttoheartlife.com. We also have a brand new website, which we're super excited to share. It's hearttoheartlife.com. Thanks so much for tuning in, and happy life, happy times, Changemaker families. Please remember that the information shared on this podcast is educational in nature and does not constitute licensed mental health advice. If you need such advice, you should speak with a licensed professional about your unique situation. Thanks so much, happy listeners.